I always thought my grandson, Ethan, just liked the quiet routine of visiting his grandma on Sunday afternoons. For as long as I could remember, he had been the one to remind us about our family tradition. Even when he was a little boy, he'd tug on his mother's sleeve and say, "Aren't we going to Grandma's today?" It warmed my heart. Most kids his age begged for video games or roller coasters. Ethan asked for warm pie and porch swings. That Sunday morning was no different, or so I thought. I was sitting at the kitchen table, sipping coffee, when Ethan wandered in, his hair still messy from sleep. He was 16 now, growing taller by the day, his voice deepening in that awkward teenage way. His mom, my daughter Claire, was already bustling around, making pancakes. "Grandpa," Ethan said, sliding into the chair across from me, "are we going to Grandma's today?" I smiled. "Of course. You know your grandma's probably already got half a pie cooling on the counter." He grinned, though there was something in his eyes I couldn't quite place. Nervousness, maybe. Or hesitation. We ate breakfast, the usual chatter filling the kitchen. But I noticed Ethan was quieter than usual, poking at his pancakes rather than inhaling them. Afterward, when I grabbed my keys to head out, he was quick to grab his jacket and follow me to the car. The drive to Grandma's house took about 40 minutes. The roads wound through stretches of farmland, cornfields rising tall on either side. Ethan had always liked staring out the window, but today he kept fiddling with the strap of his backpack. "You doing okay, kiddo?" I asked, glancing at him. "Yeah," he said quickly. Then, after a pause, "Grandpa, can I ask you something when we get there?" "Something important?" "Of course," I said, my chest tightening a little. "Important?" The word carried weight. He didn't say more, and I didn't push. I figured he'd tell me when he was ready. When we pulled into Grandma's driveway, her little white house looked as welcoming as ever, with its flower beds bursting with marigolds and the American flag waving gently on the porch. She came out to greet us, wiping her hands on her apron, her silver hair pinned neatly back. "There are my boys," she called, her smile as wide as the horizon. Ethan hugged her tightly, longer than usual. I saw her glance at me, surprised, before patting his back. Inside, the house smelled of apple pie and cinnamon. Family photos lined the mantel, the familiar faces of generations smiling down. Grandma ushered us to the kitchen table, where sure enough, a golden pie sat cooling. As we sat down, Ethan shifted in his seat. "Grandma, Grandpa. I wanted to ask you something. That's why I was so eager to come today." My heart gave a small lurch. His voice trembled slightly, though he tried to mask it. "What is it, sweetheart?" Grandma asked, folding her hands on the table. Ethan took a deep breath. "I want to know more about Dad." The room fell quiet. My daughter Claire had raised Ethan on her own after his father, Michael, passed away when Ethan was just 2. Over the years, bits and pieces had come up, but never in depth. It had always been too painful, for Claire, and in many ways, for us too. Grandma and I exchanged a look. Her eyes softened, and I knew what she was thinking. It was time. "What do you want to know?" I asked gently. "Everything," Ethan said. What he was like. What he dreamed about. What kind of person he really was. Mom doesn't talk about him much, and I don't want to upset her, but I feel like there's a whole part of me missing. And I thought maybe you and Grandma could tell me." His voice cracked at the end, and my throat tightened. Grandma reached across the table, placing her hand over his. "Oh, honey. Your dad was a good man. A wonderful man. He'd be so proud of you." And so, we began. I told him about how his father had loved baseball, how he used to practice pitching with me in the backyard until the sun dipped below the trees. Grandma shared how Michael always sang along to the radio while washing the dishes, his voice hopelessly off-key but full of joy. We laughed at the memories, even as tears pricked at our eyes. Ethan leaned forward, soaking in every word, as though trying to build a picture in his mind. Hours passed. The pie was sliced and eaten, coffee poured and refilled. Stories spilled out like treasures long kept in a chest, finally opened. Ethan's face lit up, sometimes with laughter, sometimes with quiet reverence. At one point, he pulled a small notebook from his backpack. "I've been writing down questions," he admitted shyly. He flipped through the pages, asking about Michael's favorite books, his best friends, what kind of father he would have been if he'd lived longer. Each question cut to the heart, but also healed in its own way. By late afternoon, the sun slanted golden through the curtains. Ethan closed his notebook, his expression softer, more at peace. "Thank you," he whispered. "I feel like I know him now. Like, he's not just a shadow." Grandma hugged him tight, tears streaming down her cheeks. "He's part of you, Ethan. Always has been, always will be." I sat back, heart full. I had thought Ethan just wanted to visit Grandma, the way he always did. But what he truly wanted was something deeper, the missing piece of his story. And in giving him that, I realized we had healed a part of ourselves, too. Please like and subscribe my channel for more romantic videos.